Final Group 1 then on Sunday is the FWD QE2 Cup with $24 million. Group 1 over the 2,000 metres headed by Exultant, a Vase winner on International Day, since added the Hong Kong Gold Cup to his CV as well. Time Warp will roll forward from barrier 10. His little brother Glorious Forever is drawn inside him though. Winbright from Japan, Pakistan star, last year's winner. Got Eminence from the UK for Sir Mark Todd even. Fiore, the Derby winner. Dark Dream, who's won since finishing fourth in Derby. Derby favourites in Waikuku, Lise Gracieux and Deirdre. Round about two challengers from Japan as well. All right, we're still at the touchscreen for the speed map and some of the key races here. And as far as the speed is concerned, well, Time Warp, we know, will roll from barrier 10 and probably find the front. But will Zach Purton want to be last back on the fence on Exultant?
This is one of the most intriguing and most fascinating speed maps of the whole season, Andrew. We could spend a whole segment just talking about this. I know we've got limited time, but firstly, let's start. Time Warp, we know he's a front-runner type. That's the way he does best. We know Glorious Forever as well, as you said, drawn underneath. So maybe there is a little bit of a battle there going on rather than sitting in for Glorious Forever. Eminent, very strong worker, very strong horse. Had issues with the earmuffs last start. They'll roll forward. I think that's confirmed. Waikuku probably goes forward as well. The other question mark runners, Winbright. Does he try and push up from a low gate, try and be somewhere here? Then you've got Furore last start in the Derby, was managed to roll forward and slot in here somewhere. As you say, Eagle Way's probably likely to get back, but Exultant has shown strings to his bow. From 6, I think they potentially could be looking for a spot here, maybe here. I don't think the rail's an option. I don't think he'll be back here. Zach has mentioned in the media as well that if he does get back, he can't go with the pace early at 2,000, then he won't be scared to take off like he has done in the past. So it's a bit of scrambled egg scenario, really, isn't it? It's going to be a wonderful battle through the first bend and overall. Great lineup with the international runners as well, Paul.
Yeah, here's the first one we're going to look at as a local, actually. He's been the local favourite at this stage, Exultant. Goes really nice in his work. He's had plenty of it as well. And we'll be interesting to see where he does end up in the run with that speed map, isn't it? He goes nicely, though. The other three we're going to look at are the Japanese runners. Here's Winbright. He's created an impression since he got here, and he really moves nice in the morning. This was his decent gallop there. Pulled up nicely. Nice, big, strong horse.
Big strapping type, Paul.
He is. He definitely is. And the two mares, Lise Gracieux, she looks really good. And she's a genuine Group 1 winner. It's a runner and winner, as we know. She goes nicely here, and her work's been very good. And along with her compatriot here as well, Deirdre. When we look at this one, it's a really nice piece from Deirdre as well. And she's been globetrotting a bit, this horse, but really nice piece once again, and another genuine Group 1 winner. So it's a really good race, this race.
I think she likes Andrew. She's been following him around.
All right, so before we have a look at a couple of the key races, let's start off with Tony Cruz, who has Time Warp and the likely favourite as well in Exultant.
Well, I'm very happy with the gate 6 for Exultant, because I think right in the smack in the middle will be perfect for him. He won't get trapped on the inside, so, you know, and for Time Warp, he's very happy to be outside. He's still going to go to the lead, you know, from gate 10. I got no complaints about the barrier draw. Well, they both pulled up very good from the previous run, which was for Exultant was a Gold Cup, which is about 2 months ago, you know. That's a bit of a long layoff, really. Probably next season we will probably seek elsewhere with Exultant, because 2 months in between is too long a time, really. But I reckon he's, with his barrier trials he's had, and I reckon his condition should be there.
There you go, that's Tony Cruz with Time Warp and Exultant. Seems happy enough with the draw for that pair. As we move on, we'll see Time Warp again here in actual fact, but the horse that comes out on top is Glorious Forever down there on the inside. He won the battle to find the front, and that was basically the difference. This is Deirdre who flashes home for second place, and Time Warp who finishes in third. This is back in the Cup, of course, in December.
Yes, and it was a great win on this occasion by Glorious Forever and a great run by Deirdre in defeat. But this is a different race altogether. You can see the size of the field there as opposed to the size of the field we're going to have on Sunday. With 13, and yeah, to be honest with you, I'm going to just steer clear of Time Warp and Glorious Forever. I don't think Glorious Forever is actually going as good as he was at this stage, and Time Warp's the same boat.
Yeah, definitely, and he got a real soft lead, didn't he, Glorious Forever? And this Time Warp has to lead, I think, and Deirdre was the victim of that pace, and It was a really good closing sectional.
It was. I haven't got her in, Deirdre. I did have her in on International Day, but it's with some reservations. It's only because we're only allowed 4, basically. But I'm happy to step aside from the other 2.
Yeah, she ran well in Dubai, Deirdre, but she never really looked a winning chance there behind Orm and I. We'll go to Japan, though, now, and Winbright. This is his last, or his win in the Nakayama Kin. This is 1,800 metres, so gets up in trip a little bit here.
Yep, first runner for the trainer here in Hong Kong, and obviously stepping overseas for the first time as well. He's won his last 2. He's had 2 runs this calendar year and won them both at Nakayama. There's been some good horses finish behind him as well. Look, Rulership came here with sort of Group 2, Group 3 form, and he blew them away on QE2 Cup Day. I think he's still on the rise. He's probably a late maturer as well, Winbright. The connections, it's a big syndicate. They're very optimistic about his chance, and I think the gate gives them a great opportunity.
All right, we'll have a look at Eagle Way and Pakistan Star here. This is behind Beauty Generation, so we saw this run earlier on, but we'll focus on these two runners now. And Eagle Way in particular finishes off very strongly.
Yeah, look, I think Eagle Way was the run of the race behind the winner. You can see him hit the line really nicely. This is a mile, so stepping up to 2,000 looks ideal. We know he's won the Queensland Derby before, so the distance isn't going to be a problem. Pakistan Star won this race last year. He's got a new stable now, and this is the best run we've seen from him for a while as well, Pakistan Star. So they're both genuine chances. There's a host of chances in this race.
Yeah, I think if you look at Eagle Way's run in the Gold Cup, they got going a fair way out, and he was sort of there as they were turning for home, and that he's better ridden patiently. That was an enormous run from him. And the same can be said about Pakistan Star. If the Beauty Generation form holds up in this race, they'll be both in the finish.
All right, this is the BMW Hong Kong Derby, and we know it's been possible for 4-year-olds to win here in the past. I'll try that again, apologies. But Fiore leads the charge this time round. We've got Dark Dream was a solid run himself, and Waikuku, who was favourite, had to come from a long way back then.
Question is, how good a crop is this of 4-year-olds as opposed to previous years? You'd probably suggest, Paul, that they're not far away from the best we've had.
No, I mean, and as you say, they've got good records in this. Werther, Vicious Dragon, amongst others, have come out and won the QE2 Cup. It was a good run. Dark Dream is the one that's come out of this race and won again since. Fiore's done nothing wrong. Waikuku's sort of dropped off a little bit, hasn't he? He's been a little bit disappointed.
He was good here, and then last start he was sort of down the track. I wonder whether or not he might be sort of just on the downward spiral. But, yeah, a lot of people sort of saying how good is this crop of 4-year-olds. I think they're very decent. We were suggesting that, you know, Waikuku's a genuine Group 1 horse, so you'd have to think the others are there as well at some stage in the future.
All right, Fiore came out on top on that occasion. Joe Moreira's got a good line into this race as well. He's been associated with a number of the horses. He'll ride, though, Waikuku.
We rolled the dice, we tried to go forward and slot in, and unfortunately we are not able to, as a number of horses kick on the inside and hold him 3 off the fence. And in my opinion, that wasn't a bad run, because even if he had to cover ground, being exposed all the way through, he finished midfield in front of most of, I would say at least half of the horse on the field. That to me indicates that was a good run.
Are you worried coming off a tough run like that, heading into a Group 1 on Sunday?
Honestly, now I just think that it's going to tough him up. Yes, he was exposed. He had to make it tough that time, but he's the type of a horse that has been on the learning process still. And I think that will just do him good.
And what about a better draw this time out? You'd be happy to see single figures?
No doubt, 4 gates towards the inside that is going to help him. Still not the ideal, in my opinion, but we are going to deal with it the best we can.
What are your confidence levels like overall with him then?
Very high. I has indicated before that he's a very, very promising horse. I have a lot of faith on him. Yes, it is his toughest goal. He's going to face some more experienced horses this time, but what he has done so far, he gives me the best of the confidence.
Let's just talk about a couple of those more experienced horses. Lise Grashu won a Group 1 on her in Japan, second in the Vase. What opinion do you have of her as a horse?
She's a very good mare. She has won the QE2 with me in Japan, where she set worst the midfield and flashes home to beat them all. She only ran against Phyllis and Mare on that race, but she came over here probably a month and a half later, and she performed really well against the horses, and probably she just ran behind of one of the favorite horses in the race. So she is a very good filly, and we got to respect her.
What about Deirdre's run in Dubai for you?
She ran against very strong field over there, and she ran a good race. She was just looking for a little bit of more ground. That little bit of extra ground that may does her good, but still, I think the local horses here are going to be stronger.
Comprehensive roundup then with Joe. Waikuku's an each-way price at this moment. Paul, what do you think, though?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Japanese horses that have arrived in really good conditions, as we saw from that track wreck. So Lise Gaucher, Dedra have both been here before. Exalted, the best of the locals, and Winbright looks a progressive horse. 12, 13, 1 and 4.
I think it's a process of elimination. You've got to try and find some little reason why a horse probably can't finish in the top sort of 4 or 5 as opposed to why they can. And I think Eagle Way's run behind the best horse in Hong Kong last start was brilliant. He can be a bit hit-miss, but I'll take it they'll just sit and ride for patience, hope there's a strong pace, and if he follows up, he could go pretty close. Lise Gaucher, similar type of horse. She'll run on powerful at the end. Winbright should posse up from a good draw. Pakistan Star, I did pot him last start. It was great to see him back to some better form. If he can lift the bar again, he might bring the roof off the grandstand if he manages to storm to the lead with 100 to go.
He said it was an amazing atmosphere last year where he won, but he's in for me. Pakistan Star, Eagle Way goes on top, but I think you could make an argument for at least half the field. There's a bit of depth to the QE2 Cup this year. Right, 2 more races to go. Race 9 is up next for us. Class 3 over the 1,400 metres.